A very warm welcome to our special edition of Weekend with Indian in Sydney. I'm your host, Nadeem Ahmed, and today we have an incredibly inspiring guest with us. Someone who had defied all odds, continue to lift the world through his music, his word, his extraordinary spirit. He has been featured on global platforms like World's Greatest Motivator, Little Big Shot, and Kaun Banaya Crorepati with our Big B. His cover of Eminem Not Afraid went viral, and his life story has been immortalized in a documentary, Britain Born Rapper. We are truly honored to have us with us today, Spurs Shah. Spurs was born with a rare condition called osteogenesis imperfecta, also known as brittle bone disorder. Despite suffering from over 125 fractures in his lifetime, Spurs has become a beacon of hope and inspiration for millions around the world. Spurs, welcome to Weekend with Indian in Sydney.
Thank you so much, Nadeem Ji. Thank you so much to all the listeners and viewers. I am extremely grateful to be here today. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Sparsh. The privilege is ours. Now, before I dive into the incredible journey of yours, I want to remind our viewers that this conversation isn't just about your struggles, but about your triumphs, your dreams, and how you have changed the life of many people around the world. Our community here in Sydney is eager to hear from you. Let's get started. Sparsh, your journey has been one of the immense resilience I've seen in my lifetime. From facing challenges at birth to become an international motivational speaker, your story is nothing short of inspiring. Could you please share with us how did you find strength to overcome the physical and emotional challenges you have faced?
Yeah, that's beautiful that you mentioned both physical and emotional challenges because I definitely faced both. But to straightly answer your question, I often say that there are three main sources of strength for me. And you could say, in order, they are my family, because without my family, I would not have the values that I was raised in, that I still hold dear to my heart. Those values that we Indians share, and the values that have, you know, encouraged me to keep striving to be better every day. Um, and also, related to values, they were the ones who, at the very least, you could say, encouraged me to never let my to never let me limit myself, really. Um, when, for example, I was in elementary school, like primary school, and friends would be playing on the blacktop and I wouldn't be allowed to play because what if you get hurt? That's what everyone was thinking. You know, it was my parents' encouragement uh, that really helped me understand that the people who see uniqueness in you, they will come to you, they will reach out to you, they will fight for you, you know? Um, and when you know, things were difficult, for example, traveling to different places to perform or speak, because maybe, for example, it was difficult for my wheelchair to get around, right?
Yeah.
My parents never thought of that so much as an obstacle, like, oh, we shouldn't go to this place anymore because it's not accessible. It was like, no, we should actually use our voice to to make sure that it becomes more accessible, this place, so that later on, we wouldn't have to worry, and so many more people like me who are in greater need, who live in this place every single day, they can, you know partake in the same privileges that I've been blessed to partake in, being here as an Indian American. So, yeah, long story short, my family for the values and the hope that they instilled in me, my friends because they've been, and my fans because they've been my biggest support system. Um, and, always there to encourage me when things don't go great. they're always there praying for me and giving me their blessings and showering on me their love, and God, because I mean, need I say more?
Correct.
I, yeah, I just pray that, I always tell people that if you see any light within me, don't mistake that for me. I am the lantern. The light is God. And I just pray that every day I just can keep shining, letting Him shine even more brightly through me, you know, so that more people, just become inspired, because that's the vision, to sparsh people's hearts.
Absolutely. You are always in our prayers and thoughts. And we know that music has played a huge role in your life. You have
Oh,
used
yeah.
it not only to express yourself, but to inspire others. Can you tell me how music became part of your healing journey and how your cover of Not Afraid by Eminem transformed the way people saw you and your message?
Yeah. Okay. So, right. How do you make a lifelong relationship and talk about it in, like, let's say, 2 minutes?
Yes.
Um, uh, it started with my parents listening to music in the car, right? Because everyone has to be exposed to music somehow.
Yes.
And so, me listening to those songs, and then once I started going to school, I would also be listening to the radio, uh, that was playing in, the school van that I drove to. Uh, and I developed my music taste that way for Bollywood and also for like pop at the time. And really, the most important thing was I started to hum along, then I started to sing along, and then my mom and dad would be like, Sparsh, or no, sorry, mom and dad, they would like be singing, and I would start correcting them when they were singing wrong, trying to do my best as a baby. Like, oh, you're not singing this way, you got to sing it this way. And then they were like, okay, there's something with him and music. So I started Hindustani vocal training, Hindustani classical, in the age of 6. So it's been about 13 years now that I've been learning. Um, I started at around the age of 10 or 11. I started private, like one-on-one Western vocal tutoring. I did choir in elementary school or primary school, but we all are required to do that. But then in middle school, I continued. So I kept doing choir all the way until COVID happened. I think even after COVID happened, I still participated in a couple of choirs in one or two choirs in high school. So I did that, and in school I also took AP Music Theory in 10th grade. Um, I uh, started writing songs at
Yes.
the age of 10. I started producing my own music, learning to at the age of 13, like on computer software and stuff. Uh, and I started performing way even further back. Like, I was first performing at my Guruji's recitals when I was like 6 and a half. Then I moved on to more local performances, uh, and then going to statewide. Then we get to Not Afraid at the age of 13. Um, it's funny because we had an inkling that this cover might go viral, but we actually I never really understood the immensity of it until it started going viral. So at the age of 12, 13, I posted that cover of Not Afraid, totally clean, no curse words, but also with Indian classical influence,
Yes.
which we started calling raga rap. And so, when that came out, I remember very clearly one day it was like, say, 400-ish views that night. So I go to sleep, I wake up, the next morning it's 72,000.
Great. Yes.
And partly because Papa had sent it to everyone he ever knew in his life, like the entire cover. And one of his, I believe it was our relatives, or no, our neighbors from my dad's childhood home, he posted it on Reddit. It blew up on Reddit. From there it blew up on YouTube. And long story short, now it's 75, 80 million views across the entire world, including YouTube, Facebook, all social media. And you asked how the cover transformed people's perceptions. I think, first of all, it got a lot of people to notice me. It got a lot of people to understand my condition, those who may not know brittle bone disorder, osteogenesis imperfecta. And so a lot of people with my condition started coming to me and being like, hey, I have this condition too. I'm so grateful that you're out here and doing this thing like music. It's inspiring to me, and it makes me feel like I'm not alone. And then other people would come to me saying, for example, I have stage 4 cancer. I was about to commit suicide, and I heard your song. I read your story. I heard your story. I am now inspired to keep fighting. So
Absolutely.
it just is beyond words to even express, but maybe my mom expressed it best. A few years ago, we were in a car ride home, and she said, I will never forget. She said, Sparsh, everyone now is looking up to you because you inspire them to never give up. So if you give up, they will have nowhere to turn. So
Absolutely.
that's the responsibility that you have now as a musician and as a speaker. And so it's just beyond humbling to even get to do what I do.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And your mom is absolutely right. You do give inspiration to many, many millions around the world. But there are so many young people who face different kind of struggle, be health challenges, bullying, or just feeling lost in today's world because it's a very stressful world nowadays. What advice would you give to the younger generation, especially Indian in Sydney and a broader community in Australia who might be struggling to find their voice or their purpose in life?
Yeah, that's wow. Such a big question to unpack. Um, I would say that the biggest thing is understanding, I guess, your general purpose as a human being, but then honing in on that through finding your passion. Because as a human being, we all have the same sort of general purpose. You know what I mean?
Yes,
To love and to be loved.
absolutely.
But more importantly, I think to love. Because it's like they say, right? Love is, or respect, or whatever you want to call it, it's all an expression of love. It's a two-way street. If you don't give it, how do you expect to get it? Right? The golden rule is what? Treat others the way you want to be treated, not be treated by others the way that you would like to treat them, right? So that is what I would say, you know, knowing that we all are called to give, and we all are called to love. That is what we are called to give. So in that sense, that is, now how do we do that, right? How do we give to other people? We have to find out what kind of giver we are, and we have to find out how we use those gifts. So in other words, find your passion, because I really believe that if I had chosen any other career path, I probably could have. I wanted to be a paleontologist when I was a kid. I wanted to study, ancient animals and all of this thing. I still have an interest in the sciences, but now going through all the music, studying and all the performances and composition, all the different aspects of my career that I've gone into, I know now that I could not have been noticed the way that I'm noticed now. I could not have the platform and the influence that I have now had I chosen to become a paleontologist, had I chosen to be, say, a software engineer, had I chosen to be a mathematician. I could have been any of these things, but I I went with music. It was my plan A, music and speaking, like this kind of artisticness, whether it be speaking or it be music or it be even like I have dreams of, being an author and a poet. I've written poems, but I haven't released a lot of them yet. I have though a little bit. So all these different things, if I had chosen to do anything else, I truly believe that I would not have gotten to where I am today. So I think by finding your passion, you realize how you are going to fulfill your general purpose in ways that nobody else can. Because when you do that, you can reach people who nobody else can reach, not even me. So, everyone has that place in this unique fabric of life. That is our nasib, is that, we all have a unique story, and because of that unique story, we may have even the same passions, but because nobody can repeat your story, nobody can repeat your impact.
Absolutely, and I'm sure you will be author as well. Will be waiting for your books. Absolutely, and Sparsh, you have spoken on many platforms and inspiring like millions of people across the globe. What mindset do you carry in your daily life to help you stay positive? I believe you have already covered most of it as well. How do you shift your perspective when times are tough?
Yeah. Um, so maybe one of the best ways that I can say this is share with you a verse of a song that I recently put out. And it, as you know, right, I had a car accident like a few
Yes.
months ago.
Mm.
And the reason I even mention that is because to me, I find it to be an instance of this was when I realized like a songwriter's paradox. I feel like as a songwriter, I've come to now realize that many times when I think I'm writing a song for myself, I am actually writing it for other people. And when I think I'm writing a song for other people, I actually am writing it for myself. And I say this because the day of the accident, while I was in the ER, I started remembering these lyrics, and I truly believe it was like the voice of God was using my own words to tell me, like, this was all planned out. It was Nasib, and not just that, but it is a springboard. The pain in life, every obstacle, everything that we go through, it's a springboard and not so much a trap, not a spring trap, but a springboard to propel to even greater heights. So, okay, the verse is like this. Kya hai mera naseeb? I'm stuck in a season that makes it so hard to believe. I've gone through a torrent of pain recently, and only God knows when my struggle will cease. Still, I am not grieved. Even if there is no restoration to be seen, and I could lose everything dearest to me, though in a way that's how my whole life has been. Listen, I have lived with little probability. Go do the math. There is no ability. None of us should have survived. But now we're here. How can you say we haven't thrived? There is only one thing that stands in between probability and reality. It's destiny, fate, fortune, nasib. I'm standing here because this was all preconceived. Yes, I mean all of it, pleasure and pain. All of it's planned out inside of his brain. Without them, my life would not be the same. Without them, there's so much I wouldn't gain. So I continue to train. Life is a school. These problems are games. Life doesn't teach you the lesson, then give you the test. It tests you to teach you because that is best. Trust me when I say it's all for a reason. God has a plan if you're down to receive it, never to harm you, but give you a hope. Your life is no accident, not a cruel joke. If you're in pain, don't suffer in vain. Renouncing, you'll gain, and your joy will not wane. And you'll see that in all things, for better or worse, your nasib is blessed. So why call yourself cursed?
Amazing. And you're absolutely right. Your family has played a very crucial part in your journey, providing love and support throughout. You
Oh,
have
yeah.
already again covered, I mean, the role of your family in your life and their encouragement have helped you push really forward. So hats off to them. I mean, Hirenji is just amazing. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for everything. Sparsh, you have achieved so much at young age. What next for Sparsha? Author? Are we waiting for the poems, the poetry? What are the some of your goals for the future, both in music
Uh,
and as a motivational speaker? And how do you envision impacting the world in the coming years?
yeah. Okay, so we can talk short term and we can talk long term. So I'll say short term first. Uh, the good news is I am super blessed to be graduating from my dream college, Berkeley
Oh,
College of
congratulations.
Music. Thank you. So yeah, the graduation is May 2025. My last semester ends the end of June 2025. So I've been telling people that the goal is that during the last semester, God willing, I do what I need to do for my capstone project. Basically, I have a capstone project that I have to do at the end of my degree, and I've chosen like a very flexible create your own major. So I want to use those last 3 months to really just put together an album because I've been telling people for so many years. It's been way too long. That at one point I even gave up on even talking about it. But now that I have the opportunity to do this, as well as, through that complete my education, um, my bachelor's degree, the goal is, yeah, within the last semester, my last 3 months, I want to finish putting together everything that I've been writing and the music that I've been creating behind the scenes for many years and put that into something that, is a journey, a musical journey that can inspire people, no matter what what stage in life they may be at. And after that, planning tours. I mean, it's been my dream to just go around the world and like visit new places, meet new people, but most importantly, like really in a literal way, sparsh people's hearts throughout the world.
Absolutely.
So if I can, use my music and use my speaking through the music that I create, especially for example with the album and everything, to go around the world and just inspire more people in that, more in-person, intimate, community building way. Because, concerts are such a great way to build communities and uh, you know, so many, especially I can imagine in our generation, but that is not to say anything about other generations,
Yeah.
right? Music is such a big thing where like two people, they may be from completely different countries, races, religions, whatever, right? But they may, if they like the same artists, they will have a very powerful bonding glue right there. And so if I can, I mean, that just goes to show how immensely privileged and blessed we are as musicians to be able to create those kinds of communities that break all boundaries, break all walls. And so, I just pray that I can do that. That's short-term goals. But yeah, I would like to write books, stuff about my life, what I've learned from it, to take some of what I've been speaking even and just, put that into written form so people can, be inspired long after I'm gone. I mean, whether they know my name or they don't know my name is of no importance to me. What I want people to know, to feel is the impact of what I have done in this life. Kind of like the wind, you can't see the wind. You can only feel where it's going. If my impact is like the wind, I have fulfilled my purpose, I believe. If you can feel the effects of what I have done in this world, even long after I'm gone and long after they forget my name, that is enough for me.
Yeah, but I don't believe anyone will forget your name because you are inspiring uh, millions, and people actually look up upon to you. Your mom was absolutely right. Uh, Before we wrap up, Sparsh, what is the one message would you like to leave for Indians in Sydney community and of course our global audience watching?
Yeah. mm, I would say, um mm, it's a good question. I would say, uh never forget your roots, but also remember that you were given the roots you were given so that your fruits could benefit the whole world. So never forget your roots and never forget that your fruits are not just for the trees who are like you or for the people who are like you. Your fruits are for everyone because we are all citizens of the world. Right? All our scriptures say that the world is one family. Vasudev Kutumbakam. And so, you know, for me, I think it's about how can we use our unique stories to build bridges with everyone,
Yep.
with different people. And so, again, you can reach people for good, Nadim ji, in a way that I cannot, right? Through the podcast, through everything that you're doing, this platform is going to reach people that you know, I may not be able to reach, right, the people whom you're reaching through this platform unless I was on this platform. So
Yes.
I'm so grateful to even be here. And in maybe the same way, right? Now the people who are watching Weekends with Indians in Sydney, right, are going to be coming to, for example, my community that I'm building. And so the more we can create these interconnectedness of community, I think the more we become closer to really living out Vasudev Kutumbakam. And it's not just then a word within our scriptures anymore. It becomes, it's like the word comes alive through our thoughts, through our words, through our actions, through our habits, through our character, and through our destiny.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Sparsh, thank you so much for sharing your journey and your wisdom with us today. Your words, your spirits, your resilience is truly a gift. Uh, uh, we are really blessed to have you here on our show. I know our audience has been moved and inspired. We are excited to see everything you achieve in the future, and we are honored to be part of your journey. And to our viewers, thank you for tuning in to this special episode of Weekends with the Indian Sydney. Remember, as per shown us today, no matter what challenges life throw to you, you have always have a power to rise above and inspire others in the process. Stay strong, stay inspired, and we'll see you next time.